Alright, what's up guys? Brian here, and this is my NXT TakeOver wargames thoughts on last night's event. And I have to say, what an event it was. NXT TakeOver wargames really delivered last night. I know I didn't do a review last night, but I thought I'd give my thoughts on last night's event. So let's get right into it. From top to bottom, every match was great. Starting off with the opening match, it was Lars Sullivan defeating Cassius Ohno. A real tough test for Lars last night at TakeOver War Games against a very game veteran in Cassius Ohno. I mean, Ohno was hitting him, every time he would hit Lars Sullivan, Lars would just come back and just boom, knock him down. He would hit him with forearms, kicks, everything, and Lars just was like, no, bring everything you've got. And finally, Lars Sullivan hitting the freak accident and winning the match 1-2-3, defeating Cassius Ohno in a very hard-fought battle. Lars Sullivan, very impressive, and this is the kind of competition that he needs. I mean, yeah, it's okay on NXT television, on NXT to have to defeat like jobbers and all that, but when Lars steps in the ring with tougher competition, it really brings the best out of him. So, big congratulations on the victory for Lars Sullivan last night, defeating, as I mentioned, Cassius Ohno. We had another match that the second match, which I thought was an amazing match by both superstars. It was the Velveteen Dream taking on Aleister Black. This one, if you did not watch TakeOver last night, I recommend checking out. This is one of the matches I would recommend checking out. Velveteen Dream, some people might think, that the gimmick is, the character is like, flamboyant and stuff like that, but he can back it up in the ring. And he gave Aleister Black the fight of his life, hitting, big moves to try to beat Aleister Black. But in the end, it was Black with the black mask that finally finished off Velveteen Dream in a very hard-fought match. This is one match I would recommend checking out if you did not watch NXT TakeOver War Games last night. This is one match I would recommend checking out whenever you can. The third match was to determine the NXT Women's Champion. The championship was vacated, or was held up vacant because Asuka vacated the title because she moved on to the main roster after 500 and some days as champion. So it was last night at TakeOver. It was a fatal four-way. It was Kairi Sane, Ember Moon, Peyton Royce, and Nikki Cross all competed in a fatal four-way, and all four women delivered in this matchup. You had Ember Moon, you had who wanted to win this match, based on she came so close to defeating Asuka in her last couple of battles that there was question of whether or not she could win the big one. You had Nikki Cross, who had to earn her way into this match by winning a Battle Royal after losing a triple threat match a few weeks before. You had Peyton Royce, who a lot of people wanted to see win this matchup. She's been with NXT for a while now, and I wouldn't have minded seeing her victorious in this matchup. And you had Kairi Sane, who won the Mae Young Classic, and who would want to follow in Asuka's footsteps as being an NXT Women's Champion who hailed from Japan. But, and like I said, it was a fantastic matchup. All four women delivered, move after move after move. But in the end, it was Ember Moon with the double eclipse. She hit the eclipse, her finishing move, on both Nikki Cross and Peyton Royce, and she pinned Nikki Cross to finally become the NXT Women's Champion for the first time in her NXT career. So a big congratulations to Ember Moon on becoming champion. And she now has some big shoes to fill, left by Asuka. Asuka, who was in attendance last night, presented the title to Ember Moon after the match, and they hugged, and Ember Moon celebrated her first title win. Of course, NXT Takeover wargames was held in Houston last night. Ember Moon is from Texas. She's from Dallas, so a big victory in her home state. So a big congratulations, as I mentioned, to Ember Moon, but also a big congratulations to all four women on delivering such an amazing matchup. So hats off to all four of them. We had, let's see, speaking of title changes, and this one I will say that I actually got this one wrong. It was Drew McIntyre defending the NXT Championship against Andrade Cien Almas. Of course, Andrade having Zelina Vega in his corner. And this matchup was an incredible match incredible effort by both of these individuals. Drew McIntyre, the defending champion, he brought his A game, but I was really impressed with Andrade's performance in this matchup. Ever since adding Zelina Vega to as his business partner, manager, has really changed Andrade's career in NXT. He was losing, and then Zelina Vega was added to being his manager, and has really changed his career around in NXT. So, and it showed last night, and it proved to pay dividends, because we have a new NXT champion in Andrade Cien Almas. A big victory for him last night, winning the championship. And what I thought was a surprise, because, Drew McIntyre, he won the title back at Brooklyn, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, and he lost it last night. So I thought they were going to keep the belt on him, but apparently that was not the case. So Andrade Cien Almas is your new NXT champion, and what I thought was an awesome matchup and great effort by both guys, but a big congratulations goes out to Andrade Cien Almas for winning the NXT championship. Also, as part of some news coming out of that matchup, apparently Drew McIntyre suffered a torn bicep. He might require surgery. So that is a big thing coming out of as far as last night's matchup. As far as NXT TakeOver wargames, Drew McIntyre might have suffered a torn bicep, and he might require surgery. So that's from what I read today when I was looking at some wrestling news on these different websites. So hopefully he can, if he has to have surgery, rehabs and gets better and gets back in the ring. So, but let's move on. Let's see, and which brings us to the main event of last night's NXT TakeOver War Games. It was for the first time in NXT history, but for the first time in 20 years, I believe it's less than 20 years, War Games was brought back last night, and it involved 3 teams. 9 guys. Different rules for this matchup. There was pinfall or submission was the only way to win. It would start out with 3 guys in 3 guys from one representative from each team, and then after 5 minutes, the remaining 2 members of one team would enter the match. Then after a 3-minute period, the remaining members of a second team would come into the match, and then so on and so on. And escaping the cage, if any guy that tried to escape the cage, they would forfeit the match for their team. And you want to talk about physical matches as far as war games are concerned. This one was very physical, very chaotic, very destructive matchup. All 9 guys brought their A game. It started out with Eric Young, Roderick Strong, and Adam Cole starting out for their respective teams. And then, Undisputed Era were the first team. The Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly were the first team to be released from the Shard Cage. Then it was the Authors of Pain from the second team after that, and then Killian Dane and Alexander Wolf from Sanity. They were the last team to enter. They were the ones that introduced weapons into this match. They had Alexander Wolf introduced a billy club. Killian Dane, who I thought was very impressive in this matchup, he introduced tables, garbage cans, kendo sticks, a chain, and that is when the match really started. And like I said, this was a very physical encounter. I mean, high impact moves. Roderick Strong delivered a superplex from the top of the cage on Adam Cole, and knocking out the rest of the superstars that were left in the ring. I mean, everything happened. I mean, if you want, like I said, and I really cannot stress this, if you want to, check this match out, because I thought this was one of the most physical War Games matches I've seen in a long time. And, but in the end, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, the Undisputed Era, to make a long story short, they picked up the victory in this matchup when Adam Cole hit, it looked like either a Shining Wizard or a super kick to Eric Young, and that is what finally finished off this matchup. And Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era were victorious in a very physical matchup to end NXT TakeOver War Games. My overall thoughts on NXT TakeOver War Games event last night, like I said, hats off to everybody that participated in those matches, from top to bottom. NXT TakeOver delivered once again. NXT delivered an event that was incredible. So, if you guys did not watch TakeOver, or if you guys, I would recommend checking it out. If you guys, for anybody that watched TakeOver last night, if you guys watched it, let me know what you guys thought of it in the comments below. I thought it was an incredible event. Hats off to all the superstars, hats off to the new champions that were crowned, and everybody that participated in that event. So, with that being said, this has been my review and my thoughts on last night's of NXT TakeOver War Games event. As always, I am Brian, and thank you for watching.